I went on a sculpture course recently and I was really enjoying it, like really enjoying it. And I'm not kidding you, for a few seconds, these are the thoughts that I had crop in my head as I was enjoying carving stone. These crazy little thoughts just popped into my head, going, oh gosh, we found something we enjoy. Oh my gosh, what if now you want to shut down United Art Space and go and be a full-time artist again? Oh my gosh, what if you started selling? This is going to be a nightmare to sell. It's going to weigh a ton. It's made of stone. Ugh. Like all these ridiculous thoughts started pouring into my mind when I'm just sat there trying to enjoy a course. I was like, will you just go away? There are so many people, all of us, that tell ourselves stories for why we shouldn't be making a particular type of art, or why we shouldn't be making art full stop, or the direction we should go in. That's what I want to talk about in today's episode. I get really fired up about this because I have obviously been doing this job now for a long time, running United Art Space. I have spoken to thousands of artists in that 7-year period, and it's been longer than 7 years because offline I was doing this much longer. It's been online for 7 years, but I've been in this industry now for a long time. But the point is, over those years, I see people time and time again not making the art they really want to make because of the stories that we're telling ourselves. So some of those stories have been, I wrote a list here. Some of them have been, I feel really guilty making art because I'm not selling it. I'm worried that my family think bad of me because I'm not bringing any money in and it's a really expensive hobby. I'm worried that I take up too much space at home. I'm worried that I can't make art that I can see in my head. So what's the point? I can't get it out of here and make it. So I'm just not going to bother. I can't afford to make art. I don't have the space. I have nowhere to make art. It's a waste. I think that, I feel guilty because I feel like I'm just wasting materials because I don't end up doing anything with it. It's just not the right medium. I feel like I want to explore this medium, but I'm scared that people are going to look upon me as if I'm not a real artist. Maybe they're going to see me as craft. Maybe they're going to see me as inferior. Other people are so much better than me. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. I have seen so many people stop making because they've convinced themselves that there are people better than them, so why should they bother? I don't have the time. I just want to make art, but I never get the time to make it. I just have so much going on in my life. I'm not qualified. I don't have any qualifications. I'm not taught, so I don't really want to make. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's next step to take. So many. I mean, this is just me coming up with a very, very quick list based on what came straight to my head over conversations that I've had. And when I sat down to do that sculpture course and those crazy thoughts cropped up in my mind, I'm really good now at they come in and I can deal with them straight away. I'm very aware of the thoughts that come into my mind. And I can kind of laugh now at them. I just have this like little internal monologue, like, seriously? Are we really going to go there? But for a lot of people, and there's probably lots of areas in my life where I still don't do that, but for a lot of people, these stories are getting in the way. These stories are stopping people move forwards. And I've worked with people over the years where they haven't worked in a certain medium. I remember Mary wanted to work with alcohol inks and she just would not work with them. She was using oils because she'd had an experience at university where oil was the premium medium. And so she was forcing herself to make in oils. And I'll never forget the day when she finally broke free and then started to make these alcohol ink paintings, but still had a massive chip because the fear was real around people not respecting or valuing this artwork because it's just alcohol inks. And then I remember Mary really holding back. So she kind of took the leap and started creating art in the way that she wanted, but then she was still holding back putting it out there because she was terrified of what people would think of her and what people would say. And then once she started to get the courage to put it out there, she won an award. And I'll never forget the day she won that award, because she came in and she went, I just can't believe it. I've just won an award for my alcohol inks, of all the things. And that was the green light for Mary, to just go, I can just make art in alcohol inks. But it took years of rewiring to actually just go for the medium that she wanted to go for. And so I'm sharing this today because there's probably a story in all of us, and to just be mindful when you are playing, and I hope you're playing, and if you're not playing, and by playing, I mean taking that time to explore different ideas and mediums and go out for a walk with your sketchbook and see what takes your fancy, and take some photographs and bring them back and play and turn artwork upside down and rip it up, and that kind of stuff that we don't usually allow time for is so important. And that's why we're going to be doing the Kickstart Your Art Challenge together when we do Your Art Matters, because that time is so important. And what usually comes up when we are playing, or we don't play because we haven't got time to play, we're grown ups, we've got bills to pay, playing isn't going to pay the bills, that other stories that we tell ourselves. That's why Your Art Matters Week is so important to me, because it is about stopping and allowing that time for ourselves to reconnect and to notice those stories that crop up, and to be mindful if there's something stopping you. Because if there is a calling for you to take a different direction or play with a material that you really want to play with, and you're stopping that part of yourself, it won't go away. It will always eat at you and bug you and make you feel that you're not doing something that you should be doing. And so I've got so many stories about this. There's another one, Lena. I remember Lena joining us, and Lena was creating art of buildings, really lovely, by the way, landscapes, nothing wrong with them at all, beautiful. But she kept reaching out to me and she kept saying, I do love doing these, but I want to do more. I keep finding myself wanting to do more. Oh gosh, what's the word? The word just escaped me. Oh no, what's the word? Controversial. Jeez, Michelle. Controversial. I bet you're all sitting there coming out with words then. Or maybe you were just like, what is she doing? Controversial. She wanted to make controversial art. And I remember it was on the edge, of this type of art challenging gun violence in America. And that's what she really, really wanted to do. But she was absolutely terrified. And I understand why. It's an area that is very, very tender and can be really unsettling for people. And it can put you in an environment where you're going to get some backlash or people's strong opinions. And so for Lena, it was much easier to stick to just doing the landscapes, because that it was, there's going to be no backlash doing those. So I totally understood her reasoning for that, but it was like this itch and it would not go away and it kept bothering her. And so, eventually she did go down the route that she wanted to, and she started to collaborate with people. And I think she did it with, under a different name to protect her identity. But I'll never forget that period of working with Lena over those years, because she kept going back to the landscapes, but then it was like this calling and she couldn't get rid of it because she felt so passionate about it. And so, but it's a big one that crops up. Some of the ones here around time and money, when you really break it down, you can do your art making in 10 minutes a day. You don't need any money to make art, you can recycle and you can use things around the home. There's always these reasons why we stop ourselves, and sometimes it's because usually it's what we feel other people are going to think of us. Because if we lived on a desert island by ourselves, we probably wouldn't have 99.9% of the fears that we have, is my belief. I might be wrong on that, but I do think sometimes whenever I feel like what these fears are that crop up in my mind, or the thoughts, I just think it usually comes back to what other people think, or other people being involved, and take those away and it would not matter. We would just be the people that we want to be. And a lot of this is about predicting the future. You know, sometimes, like when I had those ridiculous thoughts around, oh my gosh, what if I start to make this and I enjoy it and I have to, you know, change my direction? And what if I sold them and I'd have to ship them? And oh, I don't want to sort shipping out. It sounds like a nightmare. And I'd have to pack them. And I don't want to pack. You know, all these things like, I mean, I'm just on a sculpture course. And I'm trying to write my whole next 5-year history in like a few seconds because I enjoy working in stone. And so I just thought I share this, because if I thought it, then I'm sure some of you here listening have thought this over the years, where you've had these crazy thoughts and you just think. And so it's about acknowledging them in that moment. And especially if you're trying to predict the future, I always just think, now just go with the flow. I'm enjoying stone. We'll see where it goes. And each day, just take it. And if I'm excited about it now, then just live for this moment right now. I don't have to worry about shipping and all those things, because I'm not even there. I might not sell it. I might sell it. Who knows? And so I think my passion with Your Art Matters is around that, letting art take you on a journey and not trying to predict where you're going with it or how you're going to sell it or how would you package it. Just live it, love it now. And if someone wants to buy it, then figure out how you're going to package it and sell it and all those things. But not taking away from that joy in that moment because of all those fears around the future and what might happen. Let's just sit now and enjoy this. So there's an amazing lesson if you're a hub member. Last month we had a guest come in. Her name is Christine, and she's from Christine Karen from Good Jelly. And Christine talked about the inner critic and how to befriend your critic, because they're actually there to help us. And it was an amazing lesson. So if you're a hub member, go back and tune in. And thank you to Christine for coming in and doing that lesson with our hub members. But I think, in a nutshell, it is really about being aware of those thoughts and acknowledging the real direction that you want, the real reason that you're making art, and making sure that there is nothing getting in your way. And that's why I'm excited to do Your Art Matters and the Kickstart Your Art Challenge, so we can get really, really clear on what it is that we really, really want and what art we do want to make, and make sure there is nothing stopping us. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to sign up to Your Art Matters, the link is around here somewhere. I hope to see you there, and I'll see you next week for another episode. Take care, my friends.